Good morning, everyone. Father Pat is with us as he is typically on Friday morning. Good to see you again, Father. It's been a while. I've been out of town for a few days, so kind of catching up on things. And you mentioned this morning to me that you had a mass this morning over at Forsati, and kind of wanted to mention some things that happened there.
Yeah, well, first it was great to have that mass over at Forsati High School. It was great to see the students back at school. We gathered in the gym uh, rather than the assembly hall where we normally have mass, so that a lot more space where everybody could be uh, properly social distance. We were all wearing masks. I'm not too sure exactly about the sound. Hopefully, people heard me throughout the mass, but it was great just being back in that environment, seeing the students back. Of course, a lot of efforts gone on the part of the faculty and staff to prepare for this year, to put in place all the protocols. The students have had to adopt to a lot of changes, right, in the way when they operate. Right, starting new school for anybody is difficult, right? Certainly the freshmen are going through a lot of changes, but with each grade, sophomore, junior, senior, just in the base case, there are changes that are happening, and now you throw on it all the changes, the pandemic, and that's a lot of change to deal with. And I got to thinking about that. The gospel for today is the gospel about not putting new wine into old wineskins. Really talking about how we need to be able to change. The Lord, as we grow in our relationship with the Lord, as we allow the Holy Spirit into our life, we need to change. And so change is good. And I know we've all been through a lot of change over the last few months, a lot of uncertainty as to what changes lie ahead. And, we have either one of two responses, right? We can either become debilitated from it. We can either be afraid of the change. We can be afraid of what's happening, or we can lean into the change. We can accept the fact that, our environment is changing, that yes, we have to wear masks. We have to observe social distancing. We have to do these things that we need to, not because the government dictates it, not because that it's being forced upon us, but we have to do it out of consideration for the other person. We have to adapt to these changes, and it gives us the opportunity to find new ways of doing things. As I've been saying all along, there have been some real blessings that can have come about as a result of this pandemic. I see it here in our parish, and the way we interact with our parishioners. I see it within our staff and the way we interact with each other. So we need to just embrace that change and constantly reflect on our life, how the Holy Spirit is changing us. And because the Holy Spirit is changing us, do we need to put on new wineskins? Do we need to change some of our habits, some of those things that we've done? Even good habits we can become complacent with them, and we need to charge them up periodically. But certainly we need to reflect on the bad habits and constantly be looking to change, to move away from those bad habits.
I was, as I mentioned, away from Houston area this week and back in West Texas, and I was listening to the radio yesterday, and they were mentioning that the mayor of Midland had received some positive news from the governor, in that the governor may be about ready to institute some relaxation on some of the guidelines. That was the message that was hinted at. I don't know that that's been made official yet. And if you don't know the answer to this, that's okay. Do you know of anything? Are we about to take another step?
Well, I've heard those same reports, right? And I don't know what exactly that'll do for us here. Um, we're at Mass, where it's most important. We're starting to reach our limit at a couple of the masses at that quarter attendance. Um, but we're looking at keeping people, families, social distance apart. And the more families we have, the larger the families, obviously, the more people we can put in there. And so we still haven't really opened up the chapel, so we have additional seating there. We'll look to move people into the choir loft, have additional seating there. But we are taking a look at what's happening there, and do we need to add an overflow mass, or what would that look like? How would we do that? So we're always constant, that's part of that, yes, things are going to keep changing. We're looking at changing the way we do mass, changing the way we involve our liturgical ministers, looking to see if possibilities to engage our altar servers, to engage our sacristans, allow the deacons to do more on the altar, kind of relax some of the protocol, relax some of the standards. So we're doing things like that in the base case. We're still waiting for the diocese to give us approval to meet outside of the mass, to meet on campus, to have events on campus, and so we still keep waiting word for that. And hopefully at some point here in the near future that things will be looking good enough that we can safely and cautiously start having meetings again here on campus, start getting small groups together here on campus. So we just have to keep looking and keep being able to adapt and just keep moving with the changes as they come. Mm-hmm.
A quick and abrupt pivot here before we go. I know you want to mention something about our effort at the parish to assist those who were affected by Hurricane Laura. It's begun this week. How's it going? And give us an update if you will.
Well, boy, just a casual walk by room one where they're collecting the supplies. I'd say it's going great. We're somewhat overwhelmed, right, by the response. And, but the need is so overwhelming that we just need more. I haven't heard an update of what the financial contributions look like, but I can't emphasize more the importance of making a donation, a financial donation. That's what they need most, right? We don't know exactly. They're still assessing what it looks like there, so we don't know exactly what people will need. So that's where the financial donations are so important. But we have a whole list of supplies that we've run in the daily flock notes. There have been emails that have been circulating with those list of supplies, and people have been very generous in bringing those supplies in. We have them in room one. Most of those supplies will donate to Catholic Charities to allow them to distribute to those in need throughout the East Texas and Louisiana area.
Father Pat, thank you for joining us, and we'll talk to you again on Monday.
All right. Good seeing you.
You too.